Hello and welcome to the TMC Newsroom. Thanks for watching. My name is Rich Tehrani. We're out in San Jose this week. On our program is Eric Grafstrom. He is the VP of Business Development and Sales at Xobni. Hello, Eric. How are you?
Good to see you, Rich. Thanks for having me.
We're thrilled to have you. As I was mentioning to you before we got rolling, I think I was one of the first users of Xobni. I was thrilled with what it did for my mailbox and my social media integration and social networking integration. Can you tell us a little bit about your company?
Sure. Well, first, Xobni is the word inbox spelled backwards, so it's something that not everybody recognizes straight away. And Xobni is all about helping you manage your relationships and all the data. And when we got started, Xobni was really a way to go in and find all the information stored inside of a user's mailbox. What we do is we go through and we index that. Much like Google goes out and indexes the internet for you, Xobni goes through and indexes all the information inside of your inbox. It then builds a profile around every individual user. So if you and I have exchanged 5 or 10 emails, for example, it's going to build a profile that's specific to you and to our communication and our relationship. And what that profile will show me is not only your contact information, which we extract from the emails, maybe it's from the signature line and whatnot. We also grab photos from maybe your LinkedIn profile or Facebook profile. But then it shows me a complete history of all of our communication, every email we've ever exchanged, every attachment we've ever exchanged, all the people that have been involved in our communication, whether it's the to-line, CC line, or been on a calendar invite, for example. But part of the magic, actually, is Xobni understands the patterns of the communication. So if I've communicated with 15 people named Tom, for example, it's going to show those people when I type in the name Tom into my search box up at the top of the Xobni application. It's going to show all the Toms that I know, but in ranked order based on relevancy. If you think about it, just showing people when you're trying to find information in alphabetical order is a bit antiquated, right? You may know Tom Adams, who you haven't communicated with in 8 years, but Tom Jones, who you may communicate with frequently on a daily basis. So we're going to show you the most relevant results, and we allow you to find information not based on kind of a more antiquated way that you'd find inside of Microsoft Outlook, for example. We allow you to find information based on your relationships with people and companies.
I have to say that just being able to attach a photo to an email is amazing if you happen to have a lot of contacts, or maybe you're not good with faces, or you just are getting deluged with information and emails. Being able to assign that face is so important. And I also found that if I didn't know a person, or at least had never met them personally but was exchanging emails, having that picture really assisted me in just the communications with them, just knowing kind of what they look like. It just gave you a sense of who they are, and then when you meet them in person, it obviously is kind of interesting to go up to them and say, hey, I'm emailing with you.
We hear a lot of stories from people who finally meet someone at a conference or at a business meeting for the first time, yet they've been communicating over email frequently, and one of the people is actually using Xobni, and they find that person out of a crowd. So, email, if you think about email versus more of mass communication, email's very personal. You develop a one-to-one relationship with that person, to your point, even if you've never met that person. So being able to have a very personal, rich profile for that individual not only allows you kind of to develop a stronger connection with that individual, but it also allows you to kind of organize all the information associated with that person quickly and easily. So the pictures have been a great way. I would say it's a great benefit of Xobni. It hasn't been necessarily something that we viewed as core to the service, but it certainly has become something that people attach a lot of the value to Xobni about, especially if you're in a business like real estate agents and salespeople, where you do have to have that kind of personal relationship with a client or a customer.
And it obviously is more beneficial if you have a lot of contacts, or a lot of people that email you. And I would imagine if a few people that email you, it's not as big of a deal. So I suppose it's specific to people who just have that much inter-exchange with other people. Now, I know you've got 2 bits of interesting news. One has to do with Blackberry, the other one with Google. I was hoping you could tell us about that.
Sure. On March 17th, we launched our application on Blackberry. So what we found is that a lot of users who were using our product inside of Microsoft Outlook loved it. And really, it allowed them to manage all the relationships. So, a typical user will have about 10 times the number of contacts inside their inbox as they do inside their address book. You and I could exchange, dozens of emails, yet you never add me as a contact inside your contact list.
But I will now that you mentioned it.
Thank you very much. I'm contact worthy. But what happened was that when they moved away from their desktop or their laptop machine and went to their mobile device, they didn't have access to those people. So they might be at a conference, and even though they've emailed someone several times, they wanted to email them or call them and let them know that they might be running late, and all they had access to is their mobile device. So our users really were demanding that we would actually allow them to access some of their Xobni data, namely the contacts, from their mobile device. So we've built a Blackberry application that's available on Xobni.com, soon to be available within Blackberry App World, and we're certainly looking at adding more platforms. But the application, again, really allows you to have access to anyone and everyone you've ever communicated with. So it's building an address book for you versus you having to manually input that. And it's received rave reviews. We also have seen tremendous feedback from our user base. So it's doing quite well. And then just a few weeks ago, when Google announced that they were allowing individual developers to build applications, what they call contextual gadgets that would show up inside of an email, we decided that it would be a huge benefit for our user base and for individual developers to allow gadgets that would work inside of Gmail and Google Apps to run inside Microsoft Outlook. So we work with Google in actually bringing that platform inside Microsoft Outlook. So in essence, what it is allowing an application developer to do, if they want to write a contextual gadget for Google Mail or for Gmail, then it will automatically run inside Microsoft Outlook via Xobni. So an example of a contextual gadget might be company profile data. If you receive an email to your Gmail account and it comes from a certain domain, then the Google contextual gadget will show a profile of that company. We actually took our Hoover's extension that currently runs inside Xobni, put it onto the Google platform, and now it runs automatically inside both environments. So if you're a developer and you're looking for write once, get to two massive platforms, both Outlook and Gmail, we've provided that availability.
And that's huge. What a productivity boost to have all that information.
It's a tremendous productivity boost. It also allows us to leverage the Google platform, which really is just very basic. It allows any web developer to write something and make that gadget available based on either the contents of the email or unique to that individual sending the email, and have that available to literally hundreds of millions of users worldwide.
Well, we're thrilled to have you on the program. I'll tell you, Xobni is one of the coolest applications I've seen in the last 5 years, and it continues to evolve and make our inboxes and our lives more productive. So I appreciate you, your company, for all the work you've done, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Well, great. Well, thank you for having us. Really do appreciate the time, and I'll certainly pass along the kind words back to the team.
Thanks. Great to see you.
Thank you.